this sound. Good morning for everyone. Good morning to everyone and for everyone. Okay, let's see. It's early in the morning. I should be forgiven. Okay, let's see the weekly. Yeah, we are starting to print green Heiken Ashi on the weekly, but the money flow is still red, and I'll be very careful here what I do, because on the daily uh, the momentum is almost depleted. We're starting to print red Heiken Ashi, and the money flow is really not very bullish. So eventually this might turn to the downside and fool everyone again. A lot of people started aping that this is the bottom, but I don't think this is the bottom. Everything depends on the stock market, and the stock market 90% is going to fall more, is going to down more. So I think Bitcoin is not over, and I'm waiting for this 13 14k to buy and to watch it after that. Excuse me. So this is the daily. We can very well print like that and go down, so be careful with the wonks, especially now. I think it's too late for wonks right now, but people are wonging late usually and shorting late, so I try not to make this mistake. On the 1 hour we see that momentum is down, and it may continue down. We're going in the red here, so momentum is down. On the 45 minutes it's very undecided now, because this can turn up, it can also turn down, and I really don't know what is going to happen. On the 30 minute we have a red momentum, red dot, money flow in the red, so it's not bullish, guys. It's not bullish. It's not bullish at all. On the 15 minute it's tricky. It's tricky. Maybe there is a way for some scalp, but when I see that we're just in the middle of the Ichimoku cloud, I mean we're below the Ichimoku, but when I see that we're in the middle of the Bollinger, I just take no action. Indeed we're below the Ichimoku cloud, which is bearish, and so we touch 1, 2, 3 times. We got rejected yesterday, so the bears are defending their territory and don't want to go up even an inch, even to 21k. So it looks choppy, really undecided. When I see on the 1 hour this CVD, I think we're going to fall down even more, like retest 19k most probably, or 19.3. Let me see on the daily what is happening. On the daily we're also on the higher Bollinger, below the Ichimoku. Doesn't look good on the daily as well, but I'll try to trade the 21 minute and see how I go from there. Right now no position, I'm waiting. Um, for Wonk, I'll be very careful. Like it's very risky wonging right now, especially when we have. Well, on the 3 hour we might have some small wave up, but let me see what was the daily. Yeah, the daily looks tricky. So that is what I'm going to do. It's Friday. Don't overwork. Don't overtrade. Don't over whatever. It's Friday. On the daily, Bitcoin looks like shit, of course. No direction. There was some volatility coming yesterday, but it was up, down, up, down, up, down. I doubt anyone make money or made huge amounts of money. It's just the case it is. And we should have RSI also. I'm really starting, so previously I didn't pay much attention to the RSI, but now I'm starting to like it more and more, because along with the MACD, it is showing the divergences, the bullish and bearish divergences, and potential plays where we can buy or sell. Right now, well, it's in the middle. It's very undecided right now. It's choppy. One might say there is some bullish. No, there is no bullish divergence. No. I guess now it's deciding time for Bitcoin. Decide what it wants to do. But of course, this is a wonk with the stock market, because the stock market dictates what Bitcoin is going to do. And if we see the stock market down during the day, you have to be even more careful making wonks, trading wonk. Let's see what happens here. So this volume delta is almost the same level, even higher than this high. Well, this is divergent. And I think it might play out like a bearish divergence, because it's so high and the prices haven't reached this high at all. So very careful here. So on the Google Trends, let's see, are we going to finally start? No, it's still going down. Are we going to finally start this wave up on the interest, on the Bitcoin price interest, which I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it should coincide with the Bitcoin price actually going down, because this was the 17.6k low that we printed June. So I'm waiting for June. We're in consolidation, exactly in consolidation from June, and this is still bottoming out, but it will bottom soon. I can guarantee that. It was 26, now it's 20. It's going to, yes, it's going to bottom out. So let me find Inspo Crypto analysis, and playing the on-chain metrics. The last indicator that I want to see is this one, but this one is also very choppy and doesn't show. Maybe we have some a little bit upside scalp to 20.2 or 3, but really the risk reward, watch out, the risk reward, it's not good right now for any position. So if the risk reward is not good, just don't trade. It's simple.
Hello everybody, welcome to another Bitcoin market analysis by Inspo Crypto. Today another exciting trading day, only if you are trading the swings, otherwise it's really boring because nothing is happening. I still don't own a crystal ball, but as you can see, that's like a magnet. We are always coming back to this really tiny area. That's really a tiny area, and many of you know that I just introduced this box. Now we can see when I introduced this box, that was just very close after we reached this level. And we are maintaining that level. We are always coming back to this level where they are distributing once again, and we all know what's happening after the distribution. It doesn't mean we can't go a little bit more up, but it's definitely meaning we will go down. It will take a little bit. I don't know if it's going to take days or maybe a week or something, but I'm flipping back to bearish because, you know, it's just looking weak. It's only looking weak. And not only talking about Bitcoin, also SPY is looking weak. DXY looks bullish, but SPY, I had to talk, I had a chat today with George, and he mentioned that he also is flipping back to bearish because a lot of puts are arriving to SPY, and they are looking valid. It looks like they want to push down. It looks like a big preparation what's happening, and it matches very well to what we have figured out since few days related to Bitcoin. Bitcoin reserves on centralized exchanges lifting up while we still have bigger outflows, indicating that the gap, so this delta, is even bigger than what we can see. So the gap at the moment, it's 13k, but I'm not adding all these accumulated outflows. If we take this into account while the reserves are lifting up, it means, wow, they are sending much more Bitcoins than we know. And yeah, that's not bullish at all. The great thing is that many once again say, hey, but Bitcoin is holding. Bitcoin is holding 18,000 like, you know, the Iron Man. So it's obvious we will not break that. And I have mentioned a few weeks ago, when you feel comfortable and you feel familiar with this level, always rebounds there, that's the trap. And we need to be extremely careful. Absolutely extremely careful. Of course, this theory or this rule works for both sides. I mean, many would also expect now we will go down. However, longs are coming, not shorts. So people are flipping, it seems, back to longs, to bullish. I still hope, but I'm losing my hope, to see a price of 21k before it flips. At the moment, everything looks like that's it. I mean, we retested the area of this trend line several times. We are failing. We are always failing. While even with a high volume, we are failing. So yeah, it looks like that some entities don't want to let the price go up. So you can be bullish as much as you want. But unfortunately, I think it's not going to happen. And I had today a little bit more time to spend making some research, having some chats with some contacts, friends, and so on and so forth, and also reading. November is midterm election in the US. And you know, even yesterday I said I'm extremely bullish for November, December, excluding any kind of black swan events. November is going to be an exciting month, it seems, related to Black Swan events. So we will see. As soon as I have much more valid data about that, I will tweet that, of course. But it's the whole situation is extremely dynamic. The whole global situation is extremely dynamic. It seems it's almost impossible to make any plans from one week to the other. So we will see what's going to happen next, but yeah, we will figure out. We will check now the metrics, starting as usual with the Wales ratio, and then go forward and make a final conclusion. However, I still think we will do it. We need to be unbiased. It doesn't matter if up or down. Who cares? We can make money on both sides, even with spot. Especially if you are trading alts, but on spot it's just a question of time. Maybe it's necessary to switch a little bit, you know, and to make long-term investments instead of short-term. If you need the short-term investments, then maybe it's better to work with futures, low leverage, or to spot and altcoins. Because every bounce that we will have, even to the downside, it will give us the opportunity to make a very quick deal. Of course, we need to see where we can bounce and to figure that out before, but yeah, Inspo is once again flipping to bearish because the whole situation is changing once again. I mean, the Fed did its statement today, forget PIBOR at the moment, early stage, we are not going to talk about that right now. Tomorrow they are going to release the unemployment rate, in my opinion. I mean, as mentioned, the labor market usually is the last step that gets a hit when the economy is shrinking. So we should start to see something, but in my opinion, it will be at 3.7%. That's actually what they are forecasting. Maybe if we would go more in detail, we would see that, I mean, we know that job openings, they forecasted 10,750,000 and we did 10 millions. So almost 0.7% less than forecasted. That's not peanuts, but it will take time. One thing is, you know, job openings, that's one thing, doesn't have a direct impact to unemployment rate because it's just saying less jobs available. But, you know, I can imagine if they get the 3.7%, the Fed will say, wow, inflation is rising, economy is strong, let's go. 75 PPS to 100 PPS for November. Be careful with November now. I'm also changing a little bit for November. It's hard to say, but you know, my beers is driven by news, information, data, and so on and so forth. And it seems November could be a very tough month. We will go forward and check what's happening to the markets. So let us start with our lovely Wales ratio 30 days moving average. What I don't like to see is what they are doing here. Usually I would like to see such kind, you know, low volatility in the Wales ratio. Instead it's up hard, down hard, up hard, down hard, up hard, down hard, indicating they are still sending big volume in Bitcoins and then one day break. The day after, big again, then one day break, and so on and so forth. If you switch your chart to the 18 hours, maybe we can show you that. I need the volume, that's the volume. Let me see the 18. Look what the volume is looking like. Do you see the volume bars? Do you see that? Did you see such a pattern ever? I never. 18 hours. It only works with the 18 hours. Big volume, low volume. 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 Always. All the time. 18 hours. Only works with 18 hours. So it seems, and that would correlate a little bit with the Wales ratio and what's doing. I don't know why. I don't see anything that would make sense why they are doing it, but the fact is they are doing it. And yeah, correlates very well to these 18 hours. Usually it should happen every 24 hours, but then you don't have the same pattern with the volume bars. Check that. in your trading view chart. It's really interesting. I have noticed that now 2 months ago or something, but it was like, okay, who cares? I mean, yeah, it looks interesting, but now, I still don't know why, but it correlates very well what's happening here to the weights ratio, because push up very hard, down, very hard, push up very hard, down, very hard. So that creates volume, but why? I can tell you that. I really don't know. So as you see, it maintains that level. The trend looks like it wants to go once up, so flipping to up, indicating we will have a bigger preparation in such case. And if the current Bitcoin reserves on centralized exchanges, what we have, this gap, is the beginning, wow, then big wow. Let us go forward. So what we see here, weights ratio, 30 hours moving average, lifted up, touched almost 90%. It's declining right now. You know, everything above 90% is critical and indicating that a big sell pressure is going to happen. So they pushed up, that's why we received this sell pressure, but right now they are just calming down a little bit. While stablecoin reserves on centralized exchanges, if we check that, that's what they did, and it's declining once again. I mean, that correlates very well with the chart, indicating we will go down because they are sucking stablecoins from centralized exchanges. And every day, Binance mainly, 60 millions, many times, or at least 3 to 4 times every day, every single day. That's crazy. That's really crazy. So yeah, at the same time, you can see here stablecoin supply, it's not recovering at all. And the stablecoin, the weights ratio 1 hour is at 87% right now. So as mentioned, just calming down. And we need to see what's going to happen next year, but everything at the moment, not convincing me. Not convincing me. We need a strong bullish price action, indicating bulls want to break up. They are not doing it. Let us go forward. So what we see here is right now, it's the pattern. That's a pattern that happens weekend very low, of course, and then it goes up. I mean, we are receiving more bitcoins than we are outflowing it. Doesn't mean that they didn't change the owner and they sold already. Usually when we receive, for example, such kind of bigger stablecoin outflows, it correlates very well to the outflows, indicating they sold, they are taking out their bitcoins from centralized exchanges. That's it. Deal is done. So they send, and at the moment, nothing big is happening. Sometimes we need to go to the daily chart just to check where's the gap. For example, if I take a look, for example, for yesterday was a day where we had more outflows than inflows. If we check the day before, also in that case, more outflows than inflows. Not big, just a gap of 700 bitcoins, but that's fine. If we go forward, here we had much more inflows to outflow than outflows, almost 4,000 bitcoins. So also here, almost 2,000 bitcoins. Also here, 800 bitcoins, and so on and so forth. So all these gaps maintains on centralized exchanges. We would not notice that because we see, okay, the reserves are lifting up by 13,000 bitcoins. That's not big. That's peanuts. And that's the big problem. That's not, because they are accumulating and maintaining, holding these bitcoins on centralized exchanges. When they have a certain price level, or even, I don't know what is their trigger, I guess that's open interest with leverage ratio and so on and so forth, then it's the time where they press the button and where they start to dump. So at the moment, it looks also here much more, much more bearish. You see, once again, we had here 1,400 bitcoins outflows, and just few hours later, 81 millions. 81? No, 8 million. No, 18 millions. Okay, sorry. 18 millions outflows from spot exchanges on related to stablecoins. So yeah, that's it, and doesn't also at the moment look great, to be honest. Let us go forward. So open interest, funding rate, leverage ratio, inflows to derivative exchanges, that's the next chapter we are going to look for. We have seen yesterday funding rate lifted up very hard. Afterwards, we had this little correction, funding rate declined, then they pushed up once again to liquidate them, then we pushed up in funding rate, then they started to liquidate them once again, because while they were demanding more longs, they started to dump the price, and now it's declining, so I guess we will go up once again. The question is, when it's the time to go and to push up. I still think 21k or at least 20,800 could be still possible, so it's still part of my strategy. Even I think that Bitcoin is losing its strength once again. SPY is not supporting at all, and DXY of course not. So we will see, but yeah, I'm prepared. I'm longing and shorting at the same time, and I mean, I don't care if we are going up or down, then I will adjust a little bit my positions. That's what I'm doing with BitGet, because I really have to say, I was trading a lot of time on KuCoin. I traded on Binance, but I didn't see any trading stop limits, for example, on KuCoin or Binance, while you have that on BitGet. You know, that's crazy, and I like that. So I can use all the time both long, short, at the same time, adjust a little bit my leverage, adjust a little bit my margin, depends of we are, for example, reaching a support or resistance, reducing funds or adding funds, and so on and so forth. When I see that the possibility is, or Bitcoin is losing its strength and reducing, for example, funds of my longs, sometimes just the leverage, and then I start to include funds to my hedge short, then the price goes down. I can take profit when I see, okay, that's the main support we have there, and so on and so forth. That's how I'm making money at the moment, without almost no risk. Of course, every trade has a risk, but almost no risk. With all futures, I need to do it. What should I say? That's bear market, and I guess we need to adapt to this market, because we will maintain in this market for a longer time. So yeah, we can see even we could have just a break of 6-7 months or something where we go up. So I still think that's still possible. Even I'm flipping related to November, but not saying we are not going to see an exit rally. We will see an exit rally. Otherwise, you know, historically we have so many references. It would surprise me if that's not going to happen. And even, you know, option traders and so on and so forth expecting also the same. But also these people don't have necessarily insider information. Also something we need to have in mind. So black swan events, you know, are not included in any kind of forecast or trade strategy, whatever, because it's a black swan event. So open interest, up, down, leverage ratio following. But of course, you can't see that here. We will see that in the next chart. The leverage ratio did a new all-time high, indicating, also I checked that, they are reducing their volume and their positions, but using more leverage at the same time. And that's why the leverage ratio is going up like a skyrocket at the moment. So we can see here also a lot, and that's really, I would say, how much is that? That looks big. 175 millions, just wow, that's crazy. 175 millions, that was actually yesterday. Today nothing, almost flat. Also here related to bitcoins, to derivative exchanges. The biggest what we had today was an inflow of 1,930 bitcoins, and the biggest outflow was here 4,600 bitcoins. That was 7 hours ago. So that's it, almost very flat, not happening a lot. But now, look that, I mean, that's crazy. The blue line is the leverage ratio, the yellow one is open interest, and then we have the funding rate. The funding rate maintains almost on a neutral position, while if we check, for example, here, we can see that's crazy. Leverage ratio, open interest lifting up because we are getting more longs, but also more shorts. We will take a look to the blockchain, blockchain whispers. Blockchain whispers. We will see. And you know, extremely high leverage. Well, while we have extremely high leverage, we are not, at the moment at least, not liquidating a lot of positions. Let us take a look. I need to refresh once again here. I don't know why CryptoCoin has its problems. Okay, so we are not talking about huge. Well, wait. What? changed here? Wow, now it changed. Okay, that's the aggregated, and now it makes more sense. I was thinking it was too low, but now it makes sense, indicating, for example, we lifted up today, yesterday. That's the daily. That's not the 1 hour time frame. That's the daily one, just to see how the trend looks like. Okay, that makes that explains, of course, why we are seeing such big liquidations. I was wondering, yesterday we had, for example, only 400, 800 bitcoins in liquidations, 400 on the short side and 425 on the long side. However, that's not big. But however, anyway, that was the main part. We can see open interest, leverage ratio lifted up very hard, and now we go to the 1 hour time frame, and we can see here it's declining right now, so also indicating that they are liquidating longs. Even then, not big. I mean, if I take a look here, almost 100 bitcoins in longs, so they're absolutely not big, while the funding rate is lifting up, indicating they are demanding more longs than shorts. So it's obvious, if we go down hard, they are going to liquidate them all. If we take a look, that's one hour time frame. That's only Binance funding rate up, while also here indicating exactly the same pattern, where leverage ratio and open interest is declining, also here indicating us they are liquidating, some people are taking profit, and so on and so forth. So now we can go to Blockchain Whispers, and if we check Blockchain Whispers, that's maybe now a half hour ago, where longs, while we are at 20k, usually more shorts should come in. That's what happened in the past. Right now, more longs are coming in. That also explains and correlates with the funding rate that's just lifting up, indicating they are demanding more longs. But why? Does Bitcoin look so strong for you? Just to say, that's bullish? I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't see that. So we still see it looks very similar. We have here 51 to 49. That's a long short ratio where I would say that's fine. Even I would expect more shorts, but it seems more people feels much more comfortable right now to long it, to go maybe to 20,800 or something. It wouldn't be that bad, to be honest. So Ethereum, also here we have 43 to 47. Looks very similar. In my opinion, very healthy. We don't have much more longs than much more shorts. It's relatively neutral. Let us take a look now to the Kingfisher, and while I can spin, give me blue, 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 blue. Oh no, red. Okay, I shouldn't trade today. So what we see here, that's Binance liquidations, 80 millions. That's a lot. If we check that, that's the structure of Binance. While we have a structure on Binance shorts and now on Binance longs, we see if they want to liquidate, or I will start to explain that in another way. We have here bigger liquidation clusters, 14 millions. Okay, 14 millions, I don't know, contracts, bitcoins, I really don't know what they measure, to be honest, but anyway, it looks like at the moment, if they want to liquidate bigger than on the long side, they need to go up to 23k. Otherwise, it would make sense for them to liquidate everything until 19k. Then we have a big gap here until 17.5. So go more up to liquidate those here at 23k could be costly, to be honest. Possible, but costly. It will make more sense at least to rush to the downside and maybe then go to the upside to shake out. Could be possible. We need to see. Let us check what FTX is doing and if that structure there looks similar. No, a little bit. So that looks similar, that doesn't, that looks similar, and that looks similar. Well, on that side looks, I mean, it's liquidations here. If we take a look to that, I would say, yeah, the structure is very similar. We have different bars here, but the main structure looks very similar. So also here indicating if they want to liquidate to get more money with liquidations, they need to go more to the downside. Also here until 19k. And then, well, it's the big question. Go up once again, just, you know, let them accumulate more shorts then, and then push up very hard to liquidate them. That's something we need to see, but yeah, it would be possible. However, we see that we have on the long side, on FTX and Binance, a bigger liquidation clusters. That's it. Let us go forward. So we have here FTX. We can see that FTX is, yeah, it's fine. Since it flipped from distribution to accumulation, it did almost a CBD of 3,700 bitcoins. Is that big? Not really. But while the volume, or at least on FTX, their activity, trading activity, is also declining, it's absolutely fine in my opinion. The aggregated one looks different, of course. We did here almost 10,000, even more, 12,500 bitcoins since October 3rd. We are talking about just in the last 3 days, so it's not that bad. But as you see, spot is doing something different than do Bitcoin collateral futures, and these are shorting at the moment since here, and even stablecoin futures are shorting at the moment, while spot maintaining the price. Interesting. Let us go forward and check what's happening, for example, to Binance. Well, fine, Binance as the main driver of the market, of the price, just because of its liquidity. You can see that's 1-to-1 a copy of it. So nothing big here. Also here indicating they purchased almost 7,000 bitcoins more than they sold. That's actually the CBD. If we take a look now to Bitfinex, we can see that Bitfinex, since we reached the level of 20,200, it's not doing anything. It's maintaining. The CBD, I mean, even then, that's nothing. It's peanuts what they are doing. So nothing big. Only Coinbase, as you see, it's one again. The big player here, at least the last remaining bull in this desert, because they did, let me check, no, that's not that bad. I mean, 2,000 bitcoins for Coinbase is absolutely not bad. Absolutely not. And it looks like a little bit, with Binance being the main driver, why the price is going up. But as you also see what's happening here to the future, so that we know that from June and so on and so forth. So we need to be careful. You remember all the analysis where I mentioned Bitcoin collateral futures are declining while spot is lifting up. That doesn't make sense because they are shorting. Usually when they are shorting is hedge, so they buy Bitcoin but they short at the same time. That's their hedge. A little bit like I'm doing, but they do it well, just it's a different risk management approach than mine, because I'm only using USDC stablecoin futures, for example. I'm only trading USDC at the moment. That's it from here. Now we go as usual to our different entities. Retailers not doing anything. These guys with less than 10 bitcoins buying more. These guys here declining once again. So wallets with 10 to 100 bitcoins. These guys here once again mentioned they buy the dip, the local dip to sell the local top. The market makers lifting up once again, not big at all, but we need to see. I mean, 40,000 bitcoins, it's not that bad, but we are far away here to say that's a valid and solid accumulation pattern. It's not, because they love every time we had a big move. For example, also here they started to accumulate quick. So for example, they did here 5,090,000, they did 60,000 bitcoins more to their balances, and afterwards they declined a lot, and we shifted from 31,000 to our current bottom. So we need to be careful with this entity, because as much as they go up and then it starts to flip to go down, you know, they will use all these bitcoins to push the price down once again. So at the moment, and I said many times, only when this guy starts to accumulate, I'm going to be straight bullish, because that's the ultimate signal. We will go up. We will go up, not 1,000, not 2,000, not 3,000, not even $10,000, even beyond. But not happening at the moment. It's too early, because what they are doing right now, they did in every, or before every big dump we had. So we need to see what's going to happen here. they are at the moment absolutely not active. We know they were extremely active in the past, and every time when these guys are active, we know pain is coming. Every time when these guys are active, pain is coming every time. But at the moment, doesn't look like. That's why I'm not all in a short, because you know I'm still waiting for this signal to see what these guys are going to do. At the moment, everything looks fine, so it's still possible that we go up a bit more.
Maybe a bit more, but I don't think so. I don't think so. So thanks Inspo Crypto for the on-chain analysis. But Bitcoin is still looking weak. 45 minutes, we have a red momentum coming here, so 1 hour also. So we're very close to the to the lower Bollinger. I may consider some very small scalp to the upside, but it's very probable that we get rejected at 20k. So maybe I want to see a little bit lower and take it from here, or just watch it and you know, watch it dump. Okay, happy Friday, have a good happy Friday, and I'll not make videos Saturday and Sunday, most probably on Monday, so have a good weekend as well.